Hello, I'm Jonathan Ross. I'm here, I'm doing two things here at the Cheltenham Literary Festival. I'm talking about my graphic novel Turf, which has just come out, which is doing surprisingly well and getting very kind of positive reviews, which is nice. And I'm just about to go back on stage and do something about 5 movies you should consider seeing before you die. They're not a definitive list by any means, but they're 5 movies which I think your life would be richer for having experienced.
And how did your first talk go?
It went well. It was really good. I mean, I think maybe I spoke a little too much because I'm garrulous, and so I tend to maybe overdo it. And when someone asks me a question, I like to try and give a full answer, so I perhaps try and second guess other things they might have wanted to ask and not give them the chance to ask it, which is, I think I'll calm down later. Turf is set in 1929. Prohibition, the Volstead Act is in place. Prohibition is still got a stranglehold on New York, and people are still kind of acting away, which they might consider to be morally indefensible if they were to step away from what they're doing. And at the same time, a family that's arrived in New York, like so many immigrants did from Eastern Europe, turned out to be a kind of a group of vampires who are using the gangsters to smuggle blood in, because one of their kind thinks they shouldn't break cover and show people what they're really about. There's a kind of internal power struggle there, and the guy who's actually slightly pro-human is cast out. And just when you think they're going to strike back and maybe take over New York, wiping off the gangs one by one, an alien spaceship has crash landed as well, bear with me, and he sides, the alien who survives from that crash, he sides with the gangsters who are trying to fight back against the vampires, and there's a kind of battle royale at the end. I've always loved comic books generally, and so to see them collected together, I'm quite happy to call graphic novels comics as well. I don't necessarily, I'm not pretentious about it, but I've always loved comic books, and I love them when they're in graphic novel form as well. I like something about that mix of beautiful art and intriguing stories, often with a kind of genre twist, science fiction or superhero or horror. Something about that really appeals to me, and I don't know what it is. And I love art, and I love that kind of, I love very representative art. I'm not really big on abstract stuff, so comic books obviously have that, and you have some of the best illustrators working in the world today who do commercial work and movie work as well, and they come back to comics because there's something about using their skills to tell a story which they love, and I love it in return. So it's just something about it really works for me. It's that combination of the two elements.
If you're going to recommend one to a complete comic novice, what novel do you recommend?
I'd have to find out what they wanted first. I mean, if they like superhero stuff and they like it with a kind of postmodern kind of twist, I'd go for either Watchmen or maybe Neil Gaiman's Sandman series, or possibly something by Warren Ellis, like The Authority. If they like stuff which is political, I'd recommend they look at the work of Joe Sacco or some of Chester Brown's work, which is more kind of sexual politics and personal relationship politics. Or there's an Israeli woman called Ruta Madan who did a very good series recently. I've forgotten what it's called, but it was about her experiences in Israel. If they like romance and they like kind of fantasy stuff, maybe look at manga. There's some kind of like very cool manga soap opera kind of sitcom type stuff going on there. There's so much out there, And if they like vampires and aliens and gangsters, give Turf a look.